Hello, my name is Lucas, this is a bit of lit, and I'm here to talk about a really excellent Chinese novel, Wolf Totem, which was written by Jiang Rong, which is his pen name. This is an autobiographical novel. It also won the First Man Asian Literary Prize, which is pretty cool. It's published by Penguin, you can see. And I got this on a whim last year, I believe, and was amazed when I read it. It is about a student in the time of Mao in China who is sent out to Inner Mongolia, and he lives with the Inner Mongolians, and he's very curious about the way they live and their culture and this kind of thing. And for the Inner Mongolians in this book, at this time, I suppose, at the time that the author actually went out there, and when our narrator goes out there, they were nomadic and taking care of the grasslands and have great reverence and respect for wolves, which it makes a key, clear, critical point that Han Chinese people have idioms and sayings and natural hatred for wolves. So there's a little bit of dynamic of an issue there. And the main character, Chen Zhen, he wants to learn about wolves, and he wants to raise one and try to have wolf hounds. Likewise, not only is he curious about doing that, but the central government has plans to use all this wonderful, beautiful arable land to make it farmland rather than let it be grassland, pasture land, because of the needs of the developing country. And this puts the central government and the Han Chinese, which is the dominant ethnicity in China, at great odds with the Inner Mongolians and these ethnic people and their ethnicities and their traditions and culture. There's a character, Bao Shungui. If I remember right, I can't remember his other name, but he's sort of in charge of this transition, and he's got it on high authority that should anything happen, should there be some real trouble, we're gonna have to kill all the wolves. And that causes all kinds of drama and tension and is really nerve-wracking. Now, I won't say any more about the plot, but the plot is really engaging. It's like a little adventure, and a really great piece of environmental writing, I would have to say, from a perspective of, I guess, an outsider learning from people of a minority ethnic culture who at that time were still living their lives as their ancestors did. It constantly warns of the dangers of tampering with the ecosystem by eliminating the apex predator, because if you do that, then the mice run free, the gazelles run free, the horses run free, and everything else runs free and eats all the grass, and then the soil becomes more loose, and desertification begins to take place. Constantly goes on about that. It also really goes into about the weakness of the Han Chinese character, because they're not nomadic and stationary kind of people. I don't know, that's what this book says. I feel like there's more complexity than that, but that's largely from the perspective of the nomadic people who live this brutal life out in nature. Anyway, I have read that each chapter in the Chinese, original Chinese, this was a sensation in China as well, but I've read that the original Chinese has some epigraphs at the beginning of each chapter that set the tone for the whole book. Politically speaking, it's a very political book, especially in Chinese. But each epigraph will, of course, set the tone for each chapter, and as a whole, collectively, the politics of the book. And then there's also apparently a sort of interview kind of thing with the author that is about 50 pages in the Chinese. I haven't read that, so I don't know, where he explains his reasoning for writing this book. I'm very curious about that, personally. I thought this was excellent. There were times where it did feel like, okay, I get it. I get how important the wolf is, but I mean, the adventure, the concerns that Chen Zhen has when he's raising the wolf cub that he steals from a den, and all the problems that brings him, and all the creative solutions he comes up with, those are really exciting. And then when things get really tense and dramatic because some wolves have their way, things fall apart, and it's really well done. I think it's a great novel. I really wish that I could see what the original looked like, and I am learning Chinese, but I think I'm a long, long way from being able to read this in the full Mandarin. But anyway, I really want to recommend this book. I think it's a great book, and very political, very great piece of environmental writing. And I just think that maybe there is something missing. It felt, I would recommend this highly, but it did feel like it was lacking something, which probably comes from those epigraphs and that interview thing at the end, to get the full meaning and full purpose and full message of this book. Really cool, though. The characters are really well written and heartfelt, and feel for them, and you understand them, and the descriptions of the natural environment are really beautiful too. And I can't recommend this book enough. I thought it was really great. Thank you.